So we're back. We are talking about the 12-year-old Gauntlet. And what we're going to talk about in this video are the different parts that we all have to play in the process. The very first person is the center stage. Let's see if I can get to this place in the movie. You have your 12-year-old, 9-year-old, 11-year-old, the person in your life that is getting ready to go through this stage. They're not their future self yet, but they're no longer your little boy. They're no longer your little girl. They are starting to grow and starting to change in a way that you're seeing glimmers of their future adult self flash before your eyes. And I need you to see them clearly. They are not supposed to stay in their current state. They are destined to move forward into this next season of life. But if you don't prepare them for what's happening, and if you don't prepare yourself for what's happening, this transition can destroy your relationship with your child for a season in life. And so we don't want that. We want you to be connected with your child and to equip them so that they can transition through this stage with as much dignity and grace as possible. So number one, see your son or daughter. See them that they cannot stay in this awkward stage. I mean, could you imagine staying 12 for the rest of you don't want them to stay 12. You want them to transition through. So number one is they're I'm going to use the word wimpy. They're not all wimpy, but they're that in between awkward stage, right? So now they get strapped into the machine. Their body takes over. Their body will cause them to do things, say things, feel things that they are completely unprepared for, right? Do things on their own timeline. Things happen that are unexpected, and it might cause frustration, it might cause embarrassment, and we need to be transparent with our kids about the things that they can expect out of their body as it is becoming the version of its adult self. It's really important. Now, you don't have to go into gross detail, but you do need to give them the facts. So understand that you have your child and you have their body as the main players. So as they get strapped into this machine, let's go further into the machine. The very first thing is that the process starts. And he gives in the actual scene, gives him a little bit of antibiotics to help get him ready and kind of sends him on his way. And then things start to happen. At first, when your kids start to turn into a mini adult, a lot of times it catches us off guard. The flash of light, the things that are sparking, and you don't know how to navigate this, especially the first time that you go around. If, like me, you have 5 sons, the first time you're completely like off guard, and you try all the parenting things of coaching and training and rebuking and all that stuff, and it just doesn't work. So at least it didn't for us. So understand that as things start to happen, it gets exciting. It gets heated. A lot of emotions will come. There will be tears. There will be frustration. Sometimes there's outbursts because the things that are happening can be completely and totally overwhelming for your child. And you need to recognize that they're not your enemy, but they are being transformed. Does that make sense? So you've got your child, you've got their body that is taking over. Things are starting to heat up. You have the mom sitting by. She's sitting there like, what is happening to my little girl? What is happening to my son? She's trying to be brave and supportive, but there comes a point in this whole situation that she starts to long for what was. She wants her little snuggle bug back. She wants her little sweetheart back, but you can't go back. You have to embrace this process with your son or your daughter. And if you watch this scene with your kids, you will find that she ends up on her feet and trying to actually save him from the machine. The dad in the figure, very stereotypically, is sitting. He's watching. He's waiting. Is my daughter going to make it through with grace and dignity? Is my son going to make it through with grace and dignity? Are they going to be courageous? Your husband, your spouse may be an emotional and fully engaged person, and you may be the one that's more stoic in this process. But typically when there's two parents that are helping a child go through this, one of them is trying to save the child and the other is kind of a little aback because they know that the child is moving through even though they can't articulate what's going on. And so the goal is to get to the other side. Now things are getting crazy. This is where the mom like stands up and she's like, stop the machine, stop the machine. And there she goes. Whoops, I can't get it. I'm trying to get it to stop. She's like, stop, please, stop, turn it off. And they try to get him out now. The mom inside you is going to try to rescue your kids from this process. But here's the goal. Here's what your kids need to understand. And here's what you need to understand is when it's all said and done, after all the lights, after all the machines go haywire and their bodies like betray them, and you've exchanged heated words or wiped a lot of tears, at the very end, everything will quiet and out will come this new version of your son or your daughter. And they need to fully embrace this process that they can't stay where they were. They have to become who they're destined to be, and they have to commit to the journey. But here's the thing with the gauntlet. This gauntlet of change can help them take their eye off the ball. They're going through this process where their body is doing things, their body's transitioning, their mind can't process. They're having outbursts of emotion, outbursts of fear and anxiety, frustration, confusion, all those things. Hurtful words may come out of their mouth. They may do things that they're not proud of, but they can make the mistake of putting their eye on the gauntlet, on the machine. It's not the machine's fault. It's not the chemical's fault. It's not your fault. It's not their fault that they're going through these things. Instead, they need to look to the other side and see the goal. Where is it they're trying to get to? They're trying to get to the other side. This is about the moment in this scene where the dad's like, I knew it. I knew he could do it. And it's so important that kids know that you believe in their ability to get to the other side. But it's messy. It's really messy. And so in the next video, we're going to talk about some tips and strategies that can help you help your child and help yourself get through the other side.